But let's talk a little bit more in depth about the Leafs after the deadline. We've seen a couple of games with Blackwell and Giordano now. Do you have any thoughts about how this team is looking?
They don't look very good after the trade deadline. They lost to Montreal pretty badly a couple of days ago, 51-18 in shots, and we still lost by 4-2?
Yeah, something like that.
This team is just so incredibly volatile, and I mean that it's pretty in keeping with the Atlantic Division right now. The Atlantic Division is making us look kind of stupid because for a really long time we said that this was the one division that was relatively stabilized. We thought that the Leafs, Tampa, and Florida would be the three to make it out, but little do we know the Boston Bruins have made this a pretty interesting story. So let's break it down a bit here. In the last 10 games, the Tampa Bay Lightning are 4-6-0, whereas the Toronto Maple Leafs are 5-4-1.
Yeah.
Florida Panthers are running away a little bit here at 8-1-1 in their last 10 games, but here's where it gets interesting. The Boston Bruins, surprise,
Of course.
are 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. So thank you to Tampa Bay and Boston for making the Atlantic somewhat exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I hate the Bruins, and they always have a way to crash the Leafs party. This division is going to be an interesting last 20 games. It's funny because we know these are the four teams that are making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit's the next team. I think they're behind us by like 20 something points. It's so like the gap in competition in this division is really noticeable. But we don't know where. Maybe Florida, we can safely assume they're going to be in first, but 2, 3, 4, we have no idea. They're all within a couple points of each other.
Yeah, so now the question becomes, do the Leafs have a chance at winning the Atlantic Division? What's your thought on that?
I just think they're too far back. They're, at the time of recording, they're 8 or 9 points back of Florida. I know we were talking a bit off air. They have a lot of games with Florida coming up. I think you said 3 before the season ends, 2 or 3 at least. They need to win those, and even if they win those games, they're still within a few points back. And I don't know. I don't trust the Leafs really to go on any crazy runs in the near future. So I think Florida's got this locked up, to be honest. I would like the Leafs to get home ice for once. They've made the playoffs ever since Matthews and Marner and Willie came in, but they've never had home ice. And they've also played Game 7 elimination games on the road every time. So it would be nice to have one of these at home. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but...
Did they not have home ice against Montreal last year?
Okay. Yeah, Montreal they did.
Didn't help much.
Didn't help. Unfortunately, there weren't fans. Not that fans would have made a difference with this team because they are the Toronto Maple Leafs. But, yeah, barring last year, it would be nice to play Boston at home, or if we're going to have to play Tampa, the Juggernauts, who we, like maybe 15 minutes ago, called the best team in the East, I'd like to at least have home ice.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you here with respect to the Leafs winning the division. Is it unlikely? Probably. There's probably less than 50% chance that can happen, but is Florida a lock? I don't think so. The Leafs have, about 20 games remaining, give or take?
Give or take.
They play Boston, Tampa, and Florida a combined 7 times. They play Florida 3 more times, and if they win all 3, that's a jump of 6 points, right? I think right now there's a 7 or 8 point margin between the Leafs and Florida. If you win all 3 of those games, granted, Florida's going to have to lose a couple, and if the Leafs go on a run, this can happen. And I think that winning the division for the Leafs would be such a huge confidence booster, especially for a guy like Jack Campbell, because he's coming back soon. Yeah, and if the Leafs win this division, it's going to rely on his great goaltending. Mm-hmm. They would get home ice, like you said, and then we're going to play Boston in the wild card. They're probably going to finish in the wild card. Please give me Boston. I think this is the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said that 4 times, and I've been left in tears for 4 of them, but I think this is the time. But you know what? Let's give Boston a little bit of credit. 8-1-1 in their last 10. The team that looked so terrible before the deadline, looking like they were falling apart with Bergeron getting hurt, DeBrusk wanting a trade, and all of a sudden their secondary scoring is coming alive. Mm-hmm. David Pastrnak struggled in the start of this year, but now he's got 10 goals, 7 assists in his last 15 games played, where Taylor Hall has 3 goals, 10 assists in his last 15 games. And I say secondary scoring because those 2 play on the second line now. man, this team looks kind of dangerous and kind of good. And
Yeah.
if Jeremy Swayman keeps it
I
up in
was
that
gonna
net,
say, Jeremy Swayman, sneaky good rookie season.
can you tell me how the Boston Bruins are able to just constantly replenish goalies like it's nothing? They went from
Yeah, I
Tim
don't know.
Thomas to Tuukka Rask, now to Jeremy Swayman. Like how?
Yeah, and I don't know, but they're that team. It's something about Boston area teams. Like we saw it with New England too. They always found, like the Patriots I'm talking about, they always found guys to just plug holes and be great. We're finding the same with the Boston Bruins. And the last time, funnily enough, the Boston Bruins had a great rookie goalie. Came over to Toronto by the guy by the name of Andrew Raycroft, and then ended up sucking. So maybe they could trade Jeremy Swayman, and maybe we won't have to worry about him anymore. But no, seriously speaking, Jeremy Swayman has been so good. Boston, I said it already. I can't stand them. I really hope we play them too. I know when we had Steven on, you said we need to shy away from wanting that revenge, but there's just something about the Boston Bruins we need. It's like a personal vendetta we have against them. We need to just kind of slay that dragon, and who knows.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's the final hump that the Leafs have to get over to make a cup run. And I mean, just to wrap up this segment, I really think that Boston's fuel is eventually going to run out. The team just isn't deep enough, in my opinion, to keep up this pace. I really think they're going to finish in a wild card spot.
Okay.
I think Tampa looks bad, and they look like they're getting worse. Kucherov and Point are really struggling. That power play is really struggling. I kind of see this ending as the Leafs or Florida in first, and then the other team that I just mentioned in second, with Tampa in third and Boston in the wild card spot.
We got a lot of faith in the Leafs here, more than I think most fans would be willing to put in them. So I respect the optimism.
You want to know why I got that faith? Because Gio's home, baby.
Gio's home.
No, I'm just kidding. I think this is the Leafs here.
Once you get that Gio jersey and you wear it every game, maybe there's some special sauce in it. You can squeeze a couple of wins out of them.
I'm excited.